What do you guys think? Chat, what do y'all think about the content? Do you guys like this kind of content? Would you like to see more of this? Because what I may do is we'll continue doing the normal coaching sessions, but I will set aside a day of the week to do like breakdowns like this, and it may not always be my content. I will possibly even do video match breakdowns of other streamers, right, where like I just pull a video from their VODs and we kind of talk about it, of course with their approval. I can't give the same level of like in-depth idea of like why I'm doing this, but you know, I can like at least give some insight. Hey guys, it's me, MOTFGames. I'm just here to remind y'all that if you're enjoying the content, drop a like and hit the subscribe button down below. Maybe leave us a comment knowing what kind of content you'd like to see going forward into the future. My editor does a really good job on these videos and works really hard, and any little bit of insight you can give us on what you'd like to see more is really helpful. Enjoy the video. Alright, so first thing for this game, right? You hear me mention that this spawn is kind of cursed. It absolutely entirely depends on how the Shoichi decides to path on what I do next. So I have agency to this box next to me. I could give this box up to ensure that I have a better start, guaranteed, but I kind of hope for the fact that the Shoichi is going to make the wrong decision here. What I mean by that, well, not even completely wrong, it's kind of the ballsy play regardless, depends on how many items he needs, is that I'm going to open this box, Shoichi is going to go to this box. If Shoichi, me or Shoichi could entirely decide to fuck the entire other person over by going to this box and ensuring the entire topside loot. But I basically took the bank side of it and said like, well, if I get bad, if he just goes up that way, then whatever, you know? He cuts to the left and then keeps going down that way, which is an absolute mistake on his side. Even though he wants to go to the TP, Nikki is there. He's gonna have to be fighting Nikki for loot now, and it's gonna be very hard for him to actually get what he wants. Oh my god, dude. My mouse movements are terrible today. Yep, I've been really rusty today. So we open this box, get our oil. More to flaunt himself rather than interest in others. Yeah. Pretty much solid from here. I still need a scrap metal. We do miss it here. I have one more chance to get scrap metal before I decide that I'm overstepping my time here. I could go down to the box, like right here, the car, but you gotta remember, we had vision of where people spawn this game. There were people that end. I can pretty much guess that what I want's not going to be down in that box. We're gonna move on. Up top, yes, he should have went, well, it's honestly, it's a coin flip, but yes, he should have went up top because then he guarantees more loot. A lot different from what I remember. We pick up the coffee. I always do coffee liquor in this route as well as picking up ice to make sure I can do purified water. So this early game is like basically my bread and butter. You will see this every time I play this routing. But it depends on how long I guess she chucked south. So we pick up this, I pick up the ice next, start crafting the purified water. We pick up the iron ore drop to continue crafting. And then now we have the slots necessary to keep moving on. We're done here. Did I miss a scrap metal? So I'm going to keep going on. At this point, I basically realized that I missed scrap metal, but I'm accepting that it was the correct call to move on. So yeah, good box here. We have to craft our glove, so we're starting that. I'm gonna turn myself down a little bit because it's probably hard to hear me over myself. This is the second game. This is Black Survival Eternal Return. Is Nikki good now in solo queue? Prime sub hits me, so I basically just put him in his place real fast to say like, don't fuck with me. It's kind of just a love tap. No need to overextend there. We have the damage to back it up, so it's not a big deal. Normally I would QE over the wall, but I don't feel like it's really worth it because we're done. I'm gonna TP out. I could have, like, honestly I could. Wait, no, I didn't have Q up, right? I'm not dumb. Yeah, I could have QE'd over this wall to save time, but I didn't. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. Not body shaming. So we come through. I like calling Shukai that. I like Shukai. Defending myself because I don't know why. Make hot honey water, and now I'm pretty happy with my stamina at this point. Like, there's very little else I would want to do with boiling water in the short term. Wolves are spawning now, one of the reasons I came down this direction. So we're going to Q to make sure it hits both. You have to be slightly inside of the wolf with this placement. Throw it in, and then we move on. Yeah, Knucklehead's pretty much got it.
That would be nice.
In hindsight, I leave behind the boiling water here because I've missed on shoes and my inventory's kind of flooding. I'm also choosing to hold the leather. The heated oil actually would have been nice, but it's not completely necessary here, and if I had found shoes, we would have been in a much better position to actually hold on to those.
I really need to find shoes to clean up this inventory.
This is going to be a very boring part because it's like, this is kind of like, we see this every game. You guys pretty much already know this routing, so we finish up shoes, we're going to continue on down. I'm going to go ahead and do the second set of wolves before leaving. I'm slightly behind, but honestly in this build it's not a big deal. One thing I'm hoping for from these is because we missed that scrap metal, I'm really hoping, and the entire reason why we came by to check these wolves rather than going to temple to TP out once we had our shoes, which would have been faster, is sheet metal. Because sheet metal would have fixed the fact that we missed that scrap metal, and we would have been able to finish the rest of our build going on.
Old game, you had to have been an old viewer of mine, right?
So from here, we TP to pond.
Dude, that's fucking forever.
Hat.
Holy shit.
Really good hit. We start crafting. We're gonna kill this bat going up. I grab the camera.
To play support,
Right here, what I will say is that we're gonna kill the bear.
I did play
I should have put the camera down here, right outside of the bear pit, to see if anyone comes up, but it ends up not really being a big deal.
to play support because I liked the fact that I could like play music and stuff. Man, so Stells was around when I was like playing Trundle then.
So we see noise in hospital. I always go to hospital anyways, but at this point I do feel kind of decent.
In that sense.
So I am going to be looking to take fights, but primarily I'm looking for my scrap metal because there's an objective coming up in a minute. So we see Sparkplug. My Q angle's kind of bad here, so I choose not to E, whereas I could have went for the E, and then if my opponent doesn't react correctly, we basically get a kill off of this. But because my angle is bad, I choose not to E, just let them kind of fly off, and then I'm going to back up once they use their E, because we get slowed, and it's really just not worth the investment.
How you been, Stealth? I'm sorry I can't say I remember you much more. But like, it's been years.
Still looking for the scrap metal. I am going to pick up gloves because I do want to prep for mithril gloves coming up soon. There you can see we check for alpha because we want to know where he's spawning. He's spawning in alley, so I do need to go back at some point, but there's noise down here, right? So I'm coming down to try and see, or no, sorry, I was thinking of the last game. We're still looking for scrap, no noise.
So that means...
But we do spot Poland Spring here, who basically just lets us get our combo. I didn't know he was here, so I kind of got surprised, but we step up, and he's basically in our face right here, so I'm going to Q, auto W, that's a good bit of damage, then we use E for the knockup. The upside is that it is also an iframe, so if he taunts here, I would avoid it, but he doesn't, so he gets the knockup. I suddenly have weapon skill, so I go for the ultimate. If I didn't have weapon skill, I probably wouldn't have ulted here, but weapon skill basically helps me close out this kill. However, not quite, right? It's close, but we're short a little bit. So we do get one. We auto the thing twice. The Leon decides to go after the free kill instead of going for me. Not entirely sure why. He could have went for me. I probably would have lived, but I don't know. So we kind of back up because my HP is low. I really don't want to take these fights until I've healed a little bit, but I am going to follow along so I can get this kill. However, the Leon is stuck on me, like right in front of me with my cooldowns up. So I'm just gonna wail on him because I know that I win this fight if he's this close. He can't really get away. So yeah, we auto DW with Q, and he's basically fucking half dead already. I also have E coming up soon, so I kind of just keep walking with him and then go to use the E. The E wasn't necessary, but it does kind of help, right? We're missing an RP, so getting the kill on him is a very big deal. I do want to kill Rect, but once again, I throw a bad Q angle. I should have went down with it. It doesn't really do anything. I would have gotten like an extra auto, and that's it. And then at that point, what I do here, right, with the heart, just to kind of explain why I walk the way I do. So I start walking back because I've already decided I'm not going to take this fight. Heart fucks up her Q2. And then I start walking back in to force her to Q3 over the wall. Because if she's just gonna sit there and her Q runs out, then I can kill her. And then she Qs over, so we leave. So we go to alley once again because alpha is up. We got decent spawn for it. I'm gonna activate, well, no, I think about activating console, but it's so close to daytime that it's like I really just want to start moving over to alpha. So we don't activate console because we're going to get vision of where everyone is anyways. We can see we're alone here, so it's not really a big deal that we don't have console. If I had noticed one person here, I would have kept walking up. If I had noticed 3 people or 2 or 3 people there to kind of contest it, I would have taken console. Because I can guarantee that they'll kind of stall each other out and I have enough time to take console to get vision, be a little safer, and then walk up. But because I'm alone, I wanted to start making the distance there.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm actually doing way better than you, than when I used to. Some things that have changed.
So yeah, usual bursts on alpha, no reason to committee.
On the side, it's kind of just like past the
Take that, we're gonna drop that oilcloth that we no longer need. I am still holding on to hammers because I have the mindset here where it's like I'd make Sheath of Sajahan if I could. But I feel like with the arm piece I have, I probably just better am sticking off to that, sticking on that, because it's like the defense is nice. So we go to hotel because we want to find piano wire for our glove.
GG can provide you some pretty solid results for what
We're gonna pick that up to make cameras. I want the whiskey to drink because I'm low on SP. I don't want to waste any of my big heals.
where under.
So the Lennox here. So I get that. My E is kind of off, but she walks back into me, so I'm just going to poke a little bit more and back off here. This is going to be very common in matchups where I know that like I can't run them down. I'm going to take a very short burst trade because in my opinion I have one of the best burst trades in the game, and then make distance. We come down to try and do the wolves, and then I notice the Lennox is still here, so I actually start to kind of just dance around her. She places down a camera, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and break it. We throw Qs to poke, and then I basically just keep messing around with her for a bit. When she steps up like that, I'm going to take like short trades as possible. She kind of like, yeah, she wants to force this fight, but to be honest, I win it every time. Specifically because it's like I've already gotten her low. My cooldowns are very non-committal. I can take this trade all I want. She's just gonna keep wasting cameras. I'm just gonna walk off. And then I basically just continue looking for what I want while she's around. I check the corner to see if she's walking up or not, because if I catch her at the corner, I could do a bunch of damage. And I'm basically just like kind of paying her no mind, to be honest. She's not worth my time. I have better things to do, like finishing this glove, which we now have Imperial Assault Glove, so that's our first major transition down. So we see the Jackie, so I go for the Q here. I do not E because I expected the Jackie to possibly E in response, so I wanted to kind of hold it. So we Q here, and basically I am honestly expecting the Jackie to E, so I wanted to hold mine in case she E's in a way where I could win a fight out of it. But really, nothing kind of happens, so I just kind of leave once she commits her movement. I don't really know where I want to go. Based on the time, I do think alley is a pretty decent idea because the wolves should be up.
I really need food.
But my food is low, right? We're down to 1 mocha bread. So I wanted to go to here because I can find eggs or honey here to make food.
I can also fight for this.
And the tree is also coming up, which I really wasn't thinking about at the time, but now that I've realized it, we are going to go ahead and pick it up. We've placed down cameras to make sure we can see anyone who's coming up around us. We do get it, and then I decide, like, okay, well, let's fuck with this boar, because it's, like, free. And then we see the Sua and the Luke. So I'm going to hug this wall to try and avoid Luke, because he doesn't have vision of us, and I'm just going to keep walking. I do think I could take Keyzon, but because I only have 1 piece of food, it's risky, right? Because if the fight goes bad and I disengage, then I'm out of food, and my next fight will be my last. So there's no reason to take a risky fight in that sense. We'll back away, just look to try and get food. I noticed there's a blue crate above us, so I want to start making my way up there, because that is guaranteed food, basically, that we could get. It can have RNG, but it's very unlikely, and if you get an RNG item from it, you can just say you were unlucky and make whatever you're gonna make from it. I thought I heard footsteps there for a second. This is very common where, like, when you change elevations, the footsteps sound different and it can sound like there's enemies nearby, so I go ahead and drop a ward just to make sure there's no one around that corner. We do get choco pie boxes, which is pretty nice. My next thought is that I would like a meteorite.
Let's go back to hospital.
But in the meantime, we're gonna go to hospital. Wolves should be up, hopefully. The idea is we're just trying to try to get RNG, and I want to prep a bandage so that I can have my auto arms ready. We get very lucky with the purple crate. I check it because it's like, you never know, it could have something nice. The Hyunwoo walks up here, and he's just going to activate console, so I'm just going to go for the surprise hit. It was kind of lucky that, you know, he didn't have vision of us, so Q, we get an auto, and then we E, and then it's just auto. I fuck up here, and I meant to do DW, and I didn't. So he should have been much lower, but, you know, it happens. And then I de-skill the dog. So yeah, this fight could have been much better. I almost died here. He does get the wall stun just barely. I should have been positioning a little bit better to avoid this. But he does so little damage that I decide, like, okay, I can go for this. After stepping back and throwing Q, I throw the ultimate to get the wall stun, and then I just need 2 more autos, and he's dead. And he fixes my entire food problem. This is a big problem here. I do not notice the meteorite that the guy has. We could have picked that up and basically had our auto arms kind of instantly, and it would have been fine. But I missed it, so we move on. We've already seen that corpse before. It does have heated water, or boiling water, which I could pick up, and I do. But ultimately, I decide I have enough food now. I have enough stamina. I really don't need it, so we're going to move on. And go to factory because the meteorite's spawning there. And I want bandage still. Now at this point, you guys say he has a meteor and I should have went back, but because meteorite's not spawning for like another 30 seconds. But I decided to take this time to look through boxes and try to find a bandage, which I do get. And then there's also oil, so I'm just going to sit here, waste some time, pick this up. We play it slow. It's not a very big deal. And we just kind of wait around, see if anyone's gonna pop up. We didn't see anyone, so we're gonna pick up this meteorite, and then Shoichi pops up out of fucking nowhere. Right? It swaps today, and there is Shoichi here, but he's on the entire other side of the map, and it looked like he was gonna go to docks to me for a second. I didn't see him moving downwards, but I didn't think Shoichi was gonna be coming to me. So when he does show up here, I am surprised. I back up a little bit, I throw my Q, get my combo. We do land the knockup, and at this point, Shoichi is dead if he overcommits. So he's just gonna leave, and then we can just go to pick up the meteorite. No reason to chase. It would take too long. Let's get our objective, secure our upgrade. We'll kill him another time. Outlying in their area and needs nerfs. I am realizing that I left the bandage in factory now. Not my best. People get scared of her by combos even though they're simple. Not my best like showing. But we do find one on the ground there, so we're just gonna keep moving by. Check this body because I've never seen it before. That is the first time I saw that body. So just want to make sure it doesn't have anything helpful on it. I died in cemetery. I was in vitality. Go pick it up. All right. I don't really have room for the meteorite. I was thinking about it, but it's not really worth it. We're gonna check this crate. Myth chest. Funny enough. So we're gonna go ahead and take that, swap over. It is better for us. We want the defense. The movement speed is also really nice too. We're gonna go ahead and do these wolves because they also have a chance of dropping mithril, which, you know, could be helpful in some sense, but I also want the meat and the leather, right? Because we have heated oil and we have the bandage that we want to make. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Check the corpse. I dropped the bandage like an idiot, so I have to pick it back up, craft our thing, and move on. Alright, so now we've got our auto arms, we've got myth chest, we've got imperial silk glove, we're on myth quiver, so it's like we're cracked. We're strong as hell right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the dog, and then my next process here is where do I want to go for Wick? So we go to cemetery because that's where she'll be headed. Next objective here, we see Shoichi, so I'm going to take the burst trade. But I'm not really going to commit onto this unless I feel... Yeah, so here, I don't have Q up to follow him. I would like to, but once I see him cutting to the right, I'm pretty much going to peel off because Wick is a more important objective. We're going to go ahead and grab vision so we can tell if anyone else is here in the area. It's very risky for me to start it. I don't want to do it just yet, but I am going to, like, take 3 hits on it and start moving down to kite it out. as I'm walking back, I thought I heard console, so I thought someone was there. It turns out I didn't. I don't know what the fuck I was hearing, but we're gonna pull Wick back down again. Short burst trade again. Kited out. We took an extra hit that we probably didn't need to, but it's okay. Wickeline runs out here, right? And she starts peeling off, so I get to hit her for free, and then when she turns around, I'm like, okay, she's low enough, I'm gonna hard commit to this. I queued the wrong direction, but at the same time, this is probably fine, because this gives me an escape route. But Wick dies, we get our things. With the VF Blood, I am going to decide to do VF Blood Mass, so Cemetery is actually perfect for me. So I do think about leaving, and then I decide against it. We're going to search through and decide if I want to do anything. I don't want the Tree of Life, so we leave it, and we're just going to spend a lot of time here looking for our item.
That does affect win rate and play rate, or win rate and such.
We spend a long time looking for this item. I go through basically the whole thing, until we finally get it.
Absolutely.
From here, it's pretty much just wrapping the game up, so I'm gonna pick up a gunpowder to make another set of drones because I do want to make sure that I've got enough vision to actually clear out bushes and make sure I'm safe. I don't want to get jumped on by any of the assassins in this game or just go into an unfavorable fight. The way zones are closing, I am gonna come through here for like a second check real fast, trying to decide if I really need anything else from this body. I do take the boiling water. I don't think I even really need it, but every little thing you can get that helps you out in the late game is good to pick up.
Minhai on the map.
So here I see that Minhai on the map is in Sim, right? We can see them down there. They're farming the boar. So I check and see what they're on. They've got VF Blood Masks, so they are a difficult fight. So I sit in this bush because I assume that she's gonna come up this way, but that's when I realize she's killing wolves. So we're gonna keep moving down. We set up that, and we just keep walking towards Minhai.
What are you doing?
At this point, I assume Minhai is gonna be walking down to chickens, just based on noise ping. So I come down, see they're all dead, and I hear her walking above me, so I come up this way. And this is where we start our engage. So we throw Q to look for an E. She's walking downwards away from it, so there's no reason for us to E, so we don't. I step back, because I don't want this boar to hit me. I have already gotten glove skills, so now I just need to activate W. She does land her ultimate, which is good to know. I can use E to avoid the explosion, but I'd rather use it for a knockup. At this point, I'm keeping an eye on how much damage he's doing, so I can decide if I actually want to continue this fight or not. We do get the auto W. I am such a HP lead here that I should be favored, but you always want to keep an eye out for how much damage they're doing just in case. Minhai, I expected to step up a little bit more, so I went for the E, and I do miss, but it's not the end of the world. Because at this point, they're so low, they've used their E, they really can't get us away from them. It's wrapped up. So here I just need to decide what I want to do. Now Minhai has two really good items on them, and I haven't been keeping a great track of who's left in the lobby. So I'm going to drop my wards, take the items off of the board, and we're going to take those items and put them on the board because I don't want any of our opponents to have them, because this is one of the advantages we have right now is these insanely good items. I accidentally dropped the myth armor, so yeah. The reason for this is that corpse will eventually despawn. Those items will then be gone forever. We won't have to worry about our opponents having them. And now we're going into final zone. I see that dock is the final zone, so I'm going to activate console, right, to get vision of chapel and just make my way there because we did notice noise below, and I want to set myself up to clear out whoever's left. I throw my Q to get extra movement speed since we saw the Luke. We want to catch up to him. Flat Amp Luke plays the fights differently than normal Luke. He'll basically look to throw Qs, and when he's on top of you, he'll do like auto W and then make distance skin. It's very long, extended fights, so if I was playing into that, I would basically want to make sure I do short trades and then fall back until my cooldowns are back up, because his cooldown should be back up before mine. I don't want him to get multiple trades for free. We activate console, we saw pings up to the top right, and that's when we notice Shoichi. So we're all here. So I'm gonna wait to see who walks up. Shoichi is walking directly there, so I throw my Q, I throw my E, god damn it. And I miss. He did dagger skill, but we still have vision, so we're gonna auto him, kind of walk with him. We get the DW. He's half HP, but Luke's above us. I don't want Luke to get on top of me here because I don't have cooldowns. It'd be very dangerous if Luke got on top of me here, so I'm gonna follow the Shoichi. I do not have intentions of killing the Shoichi. I'm making distance from Luke so that I have time to get my cooldowns back to take this fight.
Don't actually want to fuck with Luke.
So cooldowns are basically back up. E is not super important, it's nice, but the thing I need is DW. So we throw Q to kind of zone him out. We're threatening him. And then I want to just take control of this bridge, walk my way up. Now all my cooldowns are up. I'm absolutely going to take a fight. Luke is clearing my camera so I can throw Q for free. I go for the E. I do not get it, but, you know, since we have Wick Line, every short trade we take is better. Now at this point, I have realized how little Luke is doing to me, and he missed his Q. I have no reason to even stop here. I'm just going to fucking wail on him. The opponent made a mistake, so all of our previous ideas go out the door. I walk into my puddle to get the bonus movement speed here because I want to catch up, and we're just going to walk around. Now we see he's cutting over this. My first thought is I can Q over the bus and E on top of him. I did miss it, but we do get auto D. He has items on him that I'm not sure if the Shoichi wants or not, and so I do decide here that I don't want to let the Shoichi loot, but I don't want Shoichi walking up to me while I don't have cooldowns because he will possibly kill me. So we're going to concede the corpse to him for a second, but I am going to pressure by poking him. So we get the auto W, and then we have D skill up, and at that point it's basically game. The Shoichi just does not do his combo well enough, to be honest. It's not his fault. He probably has really high ping, but that kind of wraps it up. And that's my thought process going from this entire game.
The bottom, it happens.
Kind of simple, but, you know, when you have this much of a lead, it's these kind of decisions that might help you close it out. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, feel free to drop a like, put down a comment so we know, and we'll see about doing more of these. Hey guys, it's me, MOTFGames. I'm just here to remind y'all that if you're enjoying the content, drop a like and hit the subscribe button down below. Maybe leave us a comment knowing what kind of content you'd like to see going forward into the future. My editor does a really good job on these videos and works really hard, and any little bit of insight you can give us on what you'd like to see more is really helpful.